Hey everybody, it's Adriana. I'm just going to talk a little bit about my research paper that I did for the semester. So I went ahead and did some research in order to find themes and patterns in the characters and the possible stereotypes in the media of Latinos. I guess I'll just go ahead and talk about my literature review. I first wanted to get a background in Latinos in film, and when that whole started. And so I read an article that kind of was the history of Latinos in film and TV, and it kind of all started in the 50s. Um, and then I read another article that kind of talked about how Latinos were integrated into into like mainstream film and TV, and how stereotypes came out of that and were started. And then the one thing, I guess we may have talked about this in class, but there is this theory that it's called Latinidad, and I read an article that kind of just said that a lot of times all Latinos are kind of grouped together and have like the same characteristics. So as I went along, so what I did for my research was I just went ahead and looked up all the Oscar and Emmy nominated people, and then filtered through those, searched through those through for people who have Latino descent. Um, I lo- I categorized them on gender, race, in their categories. So I looked up just like the main categories in the Oscars, such as leading role and supporting role for male and female, and then in the Emmy nominations, the same thing. But with the Emmys, they're split up into comedy and drama. So I had to look up a few more categories in the Emmy side of things. So then I kind of just went through and categorized whether they were nominated or whether they were nominated and won. And then I looked at their roles, and so I looked up um, what the role was like described as on the internet, whether it be on the show website or the film website, or and just kind of seeing what the role was described as in like news or just kind of on the web. And then, so for my findings, there were a total of 38 instances where a person of Latino descent was nominated for an Oscar or Emmy. The first nomination for a Latino in any of the categories across the board was in 1948 for Jose Ferrer, nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor in a Supporting Role in Joan of Arc. Um, as you can see in this, it kind of just, I split them up by where they were, I guess, where they were descended from. So what nation of origin that they claimed, and so Puerto Rico was the most I saw. Um, let's see, 17 out of the 38 um, was nominated for an Oscar, and 21 times a person was nominated for an Emmy. And these are kind of just some more statistics of what I found through my research. Obviously, there's a big gap between those who are nominated and those who won. Um, 8 people were nominated more than once, and the majority of nominees, I guess I pointed out that they were from Puerto Rico, but the next biggest categories were Colombia and Mexico. And then I looked up the different stereotypes that they went through, and picked out descriptor words. And for male, I saw most often ex-con, criminal, illegal immigrant, and rebel in their descriptors. And then for females, sexualized, loud, a secretary, drug carrier, and feisty, which we kind of talked about in class as some of those being pretty stereotypical. So just some of the things that came out of this, which we've kind of talked about in classes, that stereotypes are prevalent in the media. Um, the one thing that shocked me was that there were more stereotypes over time. So as Latinos were starting to get nominated, um, there weren't as many stereotypes but in the most recent years, more stereotypes were prevalent in the nominations, which might have to do with there are more Latinos being nominated. But at the same time, that was kind of shocking to me. And then I guess the biggest thing I took out of it was that the light-skinned Latino are more oftentimes nominated because they can be in more diversified roles. They can play a white person, or they can um, play a different kind of Latino, which kind of goes back to um, the whole Latinos as one group idea. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comments. Thank you.